Hit by the Expos. Ron Gant provided the difference, smacking his second home run of the series in the 8th. Today, Atlanta's Tom Glavine takes to the mound, seeking his 9th victory. Braves Expos, the rubber game next.
There's a drive, big left field. Back goes Nixon to the wall. He caught it. Unbelievable. Kiss this one goodbye. It's a slam. And down the stretch he comes. Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Braves win!
Hello again, everybody. Along with Don Sutton, Skip Carey, welcoming you to another day of Atlanta Braves baseball from Montreal, where the Braves and the Expos conclude a 3-game series. It's the rubber game as the Braves won the second game of the series last night 4-3. Meanwhile, the Giants just keep rolling. Big night for Matt Williams last night. He drove in 6 runs. He has 63 for the year. The Giants in Houston meet again today as the Braves meet Montreal. And, Don, this is a tough place to play, has been down through the years for the Atlanta team.
Well, I think so much of that is psychological, Skip. Anytime you're in any sport or in any business where you're laying it on the line, I think the psychology of winning, the preparation, how you feel about being there is so very, very important. What I like to see is guys thinking of reasons to win and reasons to perform rather than reasons that things have gone bad. You ask the Cubs, they come in here, they like to hit. You ask the Dodgers, they like to hit here. More and more, I think the Braves are finding positive things about being in Montreal. One advantage for the Giants is that before they've complained about Candlestick Park, what a tough place it is to play, they've won 24 ball games this year. All of a sudden, the advantage is theirs, and it's not a bad place to play.
Positive mental attitude always helps. Back with the starting lineup, the play-by-play story right after this.
.1993 Atlanta Braves baseball on TBS is brought to you by Budweiser Beechwood Aged for a taste, smoothness, and drinkability you'll find in no other beer. Proud to be your Bud. By Delta Airlines, the official airline of the Atlanta Braves. At Delta, we love to fly, and it shows. And by Aflac, insuring over 35 million people worldwide.
Looks like it's going to be a nice crowd here at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. A Father's Day special, probably about 30,000, as the Braves try to win this one and take 2 out of 3 in a place that has not been very comfortable for the Braves. Here's Bobby Cox's starting lineup. Leading off, it's the center fielder, Deion Sanders. By the way, this segment of the show sponsored by your Color Magic. Jeff Blauser will bat second and play shortstop. Jerry Pendleton at third, hitting third. David Justice will bat cleanup. He'll be followed by Ron Gant, then Sid Bream. Damon Berryhill starts behind the plate. Damon will hit 7th. It's Mark Lemke batting 8th and playing 2nd, and left-hander Tom Glavine on the mound. Defensively, the Expos will start an outfield that shows Alou in left, Grissom in center, Walker in right. The infield from 3rd to 1st has Lansing, Cordero, DeShields, and Colbrunn. Laker behind the plate, and Jeff Shaw on the mound. Shaw, a right-hander, originally with Cleveland, went to Kansas City last year. First, let's tell you who the umpires are. Jerry Crawford calling the balls and strike, Rich Riker at first, Ripley at second, and Jim Quick down at third. Now a look at Shaw, originally with Cleveland. Last year he was released, signed with Kansas City, and was a part of a deal made not too long after that brought him over here. His earned run average very good. He has been in 16 ball games. This will be the 8th start for Jeff Shaw. Braves saw him earlier this year. He lost a tough 1-0 ball game to Tom Glavine. He went 5 innings, only gave up 3 hits, walked 2. He struck out 1, but he ended up on the short end as Glavine got his only shutout of the year. This guy is not afraid to come inside on hitters. A fastball, split finger, and a slider. He tries to set up those off-speed pitches by pitching inside. You can see every now and then he will plunk somebody. We're about set to get underway, and chomping at the bit to kick off the play-by-play with you as soon as I pass him the score sheets from around baseball. Once again, and a happy Father's Day to you, Mr. Carey. Here's Skip Carey.
Okay, Don, same to you. Thanks very much. None of the other baseball underway yet. The Marlins are in Philadelphia today. Charlie Huff against Tommy Green. Los Angeles at Cincinnati. Pedro Estacio against Tim Belcher. St. Louis at Chicago. Bob Tewksbury against Frank Castillo. Brian Hickerson gets a start for the Giants today against Pete Harnish in Houston. I don't know if that's right. We'll check it as the day goes on. Wally Whitehurst for San Diego at Colorado, where Butch Henry will pitch. And Brett Saberhagen for New York at Pittsburgh against Terry Cook. In the American League, Minnesota at New York. Milwaukee at Detroit, where they have a rain delay. Baltimore at Cleveland. Boston, Toronto. Kansas City, Oakland. Chicago at California. Texas at Seattle. And Deion Sanders leads it off for Atlanta. He's hitting .211 for the year. He is 1 for 7 in this series. He's driven in a run. A little bit outside, and the game is underway. A little bit outside. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. On the corner, 2-1. Jeff Shaw out of Rio Grande College in Ohio. You older fans will remember the basketball name Bevo Francis, who played there. I think he was the first guy to ever score 100 points in a game. 3-1 is the count. Shaw was a basketball and baseball player at that college. He is out of Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Good start for Atlanta. Sanders draws a walk to start the game. And he appears to be getting a little more selective at the plate. I hope that's the case.
Well, he needs to be, because when your batting average is down around 200, every walk is a chance to get a base runner on. And I think what you look for out of leadoff hitters, maybe more than just batting average, is on base percentage, and they need a higher one out of him. Here's a guy that leads the Braves and is the top 5 in that category, Jeff Blauser. His on base percentage right at .430.
And a .325 batting average on the year. A good lead by Sanders, who has 11 stolen bases. He had him measured there. If he'd have taken off, he'd have made it that time. 0-1 to Blauser. Down on the farm, we've got a name for you to remember, and it'll be hard to forget when I tell you about it. Kid down in Macon had a big night last night. Throw to first. Dion back. Terrell Hiawatha Wade struck out 18 men for Macon last night. Beat Albany 2-0. He won 8 2/3, 3 hits, 1 walk, 18 strikeouts. He's just 19 years old. Throw to first. Dion gets back there. He's out of Rembert, South Carolina. Jimmy Williams runs through the sign. And the 0-1 pitch to the right-hand hitter. Curve hit well into center field. Back goes Grissom. Still going, still going. He gets there, 1 out. If he pulls it, he's got it out of here. But he hit it to the longest part of the park. 1 down.
Grissom plays the shortest center field of anybody in the league, and here's one of the reasons. He has absolutely no fear of going back, knows where the wall is, even gets back in time to square himself up. You saw him sneak a peek and then run to the spot where the ball was going to be. Squared himself up, knows Deion Sanders can run, so he was set to throw back to second if it was needed.
Terry Pendleton is the batter. You can't fault Sanders on that. There was a good chance he felt that that ball would get over the center fielder's head.
And if it does, then he scores easily if it does.
Throw to first, runner back. Pendleton, 2 out of 9 in the series, hitting .253 for the year. Boy, that Matt Williams, what a year. 63 RBIs, 6 of them last night. Pendleton with that stance really opened up. He's almost out of the batter's box with his front foot. He was going to bunt his way on, took it low. He often does that. 1 ball, no strikes.
That also would have given Deion Sanders a chance to take off if he wanted to on that pitch. The only way Shaw and Colburn are going to pick anybody off is if they decide to run, they get hung up, because you watch every throw over there. COLBRUNN is catching the ball, ready to return it back to Shaw. He hasn't even attempted a tag. So he's not expecting to pick him off. There's an attempt, but a weak one.
1 on, 1 out, first inning. Braves head for Philadelphia after this game. Take on the Phillies tomorrow night. We'll have it for you on TBS. Greg Maddux against Kurt Schilling. That should be a good one. Again, he applies the tag. It's close. Tuesday night, Pete Smith against Danny Jackson, and Wednesday afternoon, a business person special. John Smoltz against former Brave Ben Rivera. Again, he shortened a bunt. Again, he took it low. Again, Dion stayed where he is. It's 2-0. Baltimore failed to score in the first at Cleveland. Pendleton out of the batter's box. Now he stands back in. Florida has a run in the first at Philadelphia. They're still batting. There goes Sanders. Lined right field, base hit. They'll be on the corners with 1 out. A walk and 2 viciously hit balls for Atlanta to start the game. First and third, 1 out. And David Justice, the batter.
Got to count his favor. If Dion wants to run right here, that's okay, because he's got plenty of hole to hit the ball through over there, and Pendleton does. And the very threat of the fact that Sanders could steal got the count 2-0 and got that pitch for Pendleton to hit.
Tim Laker to the mound for a word with Shaw. Shaw out of the Cleveland organization. Last year 0-1 at Cleveland, 10-5 at Colorado Springs, but with a higher in run average, 4.76. Been up and down with Cleveland since 1990. 4-13 lifetime in the major leagues. Breaking ball for a strike, 0-1. Infield back, hopeful of turning a double play here.
Skip, if the Braves are going to make a move on San Francisco, situations like this are where they're going to have to improve. Look at the clutch hitting. Not good in April. Picked up a little bit in May, but June has been a very tough month, and this series has been especially tough.
0-2 the count for Justice. The Braves in this series have scored 11, or rather this year against Montreal, have scored only 11 runs in 5 games, but the Expos have done even worse, just 8 runs against Atlanta.
Some of it is good pitching, but some of it is not taking advantage of situations and getting some good situational hitting.
Shaw ahead on the count. Came inside. When you get ahead in the count, you can be so much more aggressive. You can take a shot at places where behind in the count you might be afraid to go.
Well, the person on the offense when a pitcher's ahead is the pitcher. The person on the offense when the batter has a count is the batter. A pitcher has to be defensive and try to make perfect pitches. Ahead in the count, a pitcher can set up a pitch.
Still 1-2.
Also take advantage of the fact that the hitter only has 1 mistake to play with.
Pendleton leads under the watchful eye of first base coach Pat Corrales. The 1-2 pitch. He missed badly with that one. 2-2 is now the count. Boston got a run in the first at Toronto. Those Blue Jays are red hot. Here comes the 2-2 to Justice. He missed badly. It's 3-0. There's a wasted 0-2 count. Really took a pretty good shot with the 0-2 pitch, but the other two have been awful.
They've been nibbled instead of pitching aggressive. Like you said, he's the one right there who can be the aggressor, but all of a sudden he's pitching very defensively. He's pitching in that situation like his stuff is not nearly as good as it is.
See if Pendleton runs on the 3-2. He's at first, as you see. Dion at third. Here's the payoff pitch. Didn't work. I'll be darned. Jeff Shaw couldn't have picked off our radio producer Rick Shaw with that move. No, maybe he could have. 3-2 the count. Well hit, base hit. We're first and thirding him to death. And the ball gets by all the way to the wall. Pendleton will score. Justice will wind up at third, and it's 2-0. It's a single, no RBI, and an error on Walker. And nothing but rifle shots hit by Atlanta so far in this game.
Count his favor. He can look for something to hit. The 3-2 pitch, that's the pitch he would have liked to have made 1-2, maybe a different result. But Pendleton and Justice wearing out the hole between first and second. This guy's normally a good defensive outfielder, but it looked like he just skipped up off the heel of his glove. The 1 RBI there is Sanders, but Pendleton will score on the air, and it's a nice start for the Braves.
And Ron Gant, who's had a big series, is the batter. He's 3 out of 7, 3 runs scored, 2 driven in, both home runs. Infield comes in for the Expos, and activity early. Ken Bottenfield in the bullpen for Montreal. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. So Justice drives in his 40th run of the year. Sid Bream is on deck. Gant projecting himself into all-star consideration here. Two and 0.
Individually, there's some pretty good defensive players on this Expo ball club. There's one right there, but errors have been hurting these. They've allowed 47 unearned runs. Hard to win when you're giving up freebies.
Oh, he's having an awful time of it, isn't he? 3-0.
He has an above-average fastball. He has an exceptional slider. We've only seen 1 or 2 of them, and he has a very good split-finger fastball. But he's pitching now like a guy with an 82-mile-an-hour sinker and a mediocre curveball. Just really pitching away from the strike zone.
See if they turn him loose. 3-0. He missed low. Second walk. Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, is on his way to the mound. The Braves with a chance for a huge inning here. 2 in. They're on the corners with only 1 out, and the out by Blauser went about 400 feet. Chased Grissom to the left center field wall. So Kerrigan with a word for Shaw. And a lengthy conversation at that. And the home plate umpire, Jerry Crawford, heads to the mound. Bream, 1 out of 6 in the series. That base hit came last night. He had a couple walks as well. Infield back, hopeful of turning 2. The outfield plays him straight away. You know, when you're going bad and you do that, it's like you're afraid to throw the ball to the hitter.
It's almost like a concession speech.
Safe.
Sometimes getting an out without making a pitch is not a bad idea, but in trying to use the old trick play there, you're not going to get Justice. I think the only way you get Gant is if he's overly aggressive, and he really doesn't have to be right now. If I were Bream, I'd look for something right in the middle of the strike zone.
Nowhere near. 1 ball, no strikes. That's where he tried to put it, but he can't.
And that's why I hit 143 career, too, probably. But what happens is if a guy nibbles and nibbles and all of a sudden the pitching coach comes out and says, somewhere in the gist of that, be aggressive, go right at him. Then if you're a hitter, you've got to look for something in the middle of the strike zone sooner or later, the next at bat.
There's a strike. 1-1. A derisive cheer from the fans.
I think one of the hardest jobs a pitching coach has is convincing a young guy that his stuff is really as good as it is. And convincing them to pitch as though you're going to get people out instead of pitching afraid that somebody's going to hit it.
The 1-1. Throw to first. Runner back. Gant 11 of 16 in the stolen base department, so it's a good idea that they keep a watchful eye on him. He'd love to get into scoring position and take the double play out of effect. Fly ball, well hit left field. Alou goes back. Justice tags. There's the catch. Throw is to second. Justice scores, and it's 3-0. And Bream hit the ball hard and drives in his 21st run.
I like that at bat out of Sid Bream. He could have tried to pull the ball, maybe tried to be Harry Hero and hit a homer. But when you've got two, every run you can add on is a distinct advantage for your starting pitcher. So they threw him a good pitch, pretty much a pitcher's pitch, but it was one that he could get in the air, and he made it out, but it was a productive out, and he got another run in.
That was Steve Bedrosian waving at you from the Atlanta dugout. He's a beauty. Bluff to first. Now even more likely Gant might take off. Bottenfield is ready if needed in their bullpen. Safe. Five years ago on this date, Otis Nixon was recalled by the Expos from Indianapolis. And he hasn't been back to AAA yet. He's not headed in that direction.
And occasionally we see him.
He surfaces from time to time. Pitch out, nothing happening. Snap throw to first. Gant back easily.
Berryhill's the hottest hitter on the club. Gant, obviously, if he got a good jump, could steal, but he has served his purpose right now. He has them very aware of him, and what he can do is get Damon Berryhill a good pitch to hit. And if he stays put, then Damon's a pull hitter. He's going to have a bigger hole to hit through on the right side.
If you like throws to first, you're really enjoying this ballgame. Fouled away. Count even to the ball and a strike. Well, I got to talk to my dad on Father's Day for nothing today, and my son got to talk to me. ESPN Radio called us up and had a conference call this morning.
Your dad doing well?
Tonight.
How is everything going in Seattle for Chip?
Well, he's in Orlando at the moment, and everything's going fine. Everybody's good.
Good.
Breaking ball is high. It's 2-1. I know your dad is doing well now that we've gotten it straightened out that he is not the one that starts the wave in Atlanta. It's your Uncle John.
That's it. Boy, you had Dad in some deep trouble down in Northwest Florida. And
well, now
he was losing friends by the hour because of that.
Now we've straightened it out on both radio and TV, so my conscience is clear.
And you made it a better Father's Day for him because of that.
The 2-1 hit to the screen, and the count evens at 2-2.
He does play with a beach ball when he comes to the park, though.
Oh, don't start it again. You're on your own on this one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mark Lemke waits to hit next. There are 2 out in the inning, a runner at first, and 3 have scored for Atlanta. Safe at first.
See, now's not a bad time for Gant to run. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Berryhill's got to be a little more defensive. And if Gant gets thrown out, the Braves still get 3 runs, and Berryhill gets a clean slate to start next inning with. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go here.
There he goes. High pop left side. Everybody chasing it. Good effort by Lansing, but he couldn't get to it, and the count is still 2-2. Boy, riding back on the subway last night, as you look at the replay, it's just amazing how many Braves fans there are at this ballpark.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it too. We were in a car that had official capacity of 60 with 91 other people.
Made some nice new friends last night, just trying to get back
whether
to the
we
hotel.
wanted to or not. And about half of them had on Braves jackets and caps. And
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes, fly ball deep center again. Grissom turns his back on the run at the wall. He's got another one, and the inning is over. Jeff Shaw didn't fool anybody. 3 runs on 2 hits and a couple of wicked shots as well. There was an error in the inning, and a runner was left. We finally go to the bottom of the first. Atlanta 3, Montreal coming to bat.
Braves with 3 in their half. Here come the Expos, and here's the batting order. It's going to be DeShields leading it off. He'll be followed by Lansing and Grissom. Then Walker will bat cleanup. Alou 5th, Colbrunn 6th. Cordero, Laker, and Shaw make up the rest of the lineup. Defensively, it's going to be an outfield of Gant, Sanders, and Justice. Pendleton, Blauser, Lemke, and Bream the infield. Barry Hill behind the plate, and Tom Glavine on the mound. Glavine 8-3. His earned run average good. And the last time he saw the Expos, he beat them 1-0. That's the good news. The bad news is he's lost 11 times to the Expos in his career. Only about 60 career losses, and more than 1/6 of them to this ball club.
Delano DeShields leads it off, and the fastball is high. It's even now, 1-1. A ball and a strike on DeShields, hitting just .246 for the year. Off Glavine's foot. Blauser has no play. Let's see if Tommy's okay.
DeShields has become a much better hitter against lefties, especially on breaking balls that kind of stay in the middle of the strike zone. That looked like it caught him on the inside of his right foot. No trainers are coming out, so apparently Tommy said, I'm okay, let's go ahead.
Mike Lansing, the batter, hitting at .283, 1 out of 6 in the series. He has scored twice. DeShields edges away 17 stolen bases. He's been thrown out 7 times. He ran up the bunt, took it outside. You know, Glavine often struggles in the first inning. He has a 3-run lead here, but the leadoff man is aboard for the Expos.
Also, remember, he had to sit down a long time. Braves had a rather lengthy first inning, so it may take him a few hitters to get untracked.
Lansing waits the pitch. Again, he ran up the bunt, nowhere near. So it's 2-0 on the number 2 hitter in the order for Montreal. The outfield play is Lansing to hit to the off field. They're around toward right.
Glavine, the kind of pitcher that can also get a double play on one pitch.
At the knees with a swifty, it's 2-1. Well, they go to the final round of the U.S. Open with Lee Jansen in the lead by a stroke over Payne Stewart. He's the guy that dresses funny, isn't he? Payne Stewart.
Yeah, wears knickers.
Yeah. The stretch. Right in there. It's 2-2. That might be okay in New Jersey, but boy, when you get back to the hotel in New York, you better. I wouldn't go walking over to Soho. Well, there's some places over there, I guess it's all right. Meanwhile, back at the game, the 2-2 pitch instead. The first, he is safe.
Well, you know, he wears knickers and shirts to match every NFL team, but never seen any football players dressed like that.
Out of play, still 2-2. He has a compelling reason for dressing the way he dresses, doesn't he?
Yeah, much the same reason that you and I have for doing what we do.
De Niro,
the love of the game.
Oh, shut up, people. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Curve, he fought it off. Still 2-2. A lot of audience participation here. The organist is nonstop.
But I notice they don't play "Oh Susanna."
No,
anymore.
they don't, and it's probably a good thing as long as you're here. The 2-2 pitch. Double play ball. 6, 4, 3. As predicted by Monsieur Sutton, a double play is dished up by Glavine. 2 down for Marquise Grissom. In the second inning, Cleveland leads Baltimore 2-1. 2 out, nobody aboard. Grissom, 1 out of 6 in the series. Downstairs, bounces away from Damon Berryhill. This, by the way, the first time Berryhill has started a game catching Glavine since last September.
I think sometimes too much is made out of that. He sees the same scouting reports, the same hitters as Tom does, and he knows his stuff. And eventually what Glavine is going to do anyway is call his own ball game. I think too many pitchers use the catcher as an excuse, saying, well, I can't work comfortably. But your head works from side to side as well as it does on the
Lined into left, an easy play for Gant, and the inning comes to a close. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, none left. At the end of an inning, Atlanta leads it 3-0. For Atlanta, there's part of a big contingent of Braves fans here. Lemke 0 for 6 in the series. He's hitting .261. Boy, he's done his job this year. Breaking ball inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankees have scored in the first. They lead the Twins 1-0. They're still batting. Ground ball to second to Shields. To his left. Gloves it. 1 out. And Tom Glavine will hit. Tommy hitting .156 on the year. He's driven in 1 run. You fans back in the Atlanta area, don't forget that Jeff Blauser has a big golf tournament coming up on June 28th.
Where's that going to be?
The Standard Club in Duluth for Scottish Rite Hospital. You can call the Braves Atlanta radio station, WGST, at 233-0640, and they'll give you more information or give you, I think there's a special number to call, but I don't have it.
You going to play?
I don't play golf.
You going to caddy?
No. I won't even drive the refreshment cart. Into the seats again. Some of these people up here don't even stand up when they play our national anthem. Sort of ticks you off. High chop. Can he beat it? Yes. DeShields almost knocks it into the Atlanta dugout. Had Glavine known, he could have been at second. But it's an infield hit.
Right off the front of the plate, one of those do-or-die efforts where DeShields had to swipe it. I don't think he knew he had it in his glove. He had it right in the pocket. Looked glove save.
Looked like a highlight player.
Yeah.
Sanders walked and scored his first time. Bottenfield goes back to the bullpen to loosen up. One on, one out in the second.
This is a guy that Sanders should be able to raise his batting average some against. He really doesn't have an off-speed pitch to trick him with, and he's having trouble throwing strikes, so the chances are he's going to get a fastball to hit.
There was a split finger, and he didn't get that, and the count evens at 1-1.
And that's the first good one he has thrown to 10 hitters.
Boston 2-0 over Toronto, bottom of the second, and Skido. You see Otis's line today? He said, well, I see the Red Sox are in Toronto. If they trade me over there today, it's one less time I have to go through customs. The 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike. It's difficult to trade a guy who makes over $2 million a year unless you can find a contending team that feels they need one more guy to make the difference. And the Red Sox have fallen 11 games out, so their interest has probably cooled.
Also, it's hard to be impressive to steal bases and to get base hits when you're sitting in the dugout, too.
He has played once in about 2 weeks. Three balls and a strike.
By the way, speaking of, did I see his quote? Who writes headlines for newspapers? I got a copy of the one out of Atlanta, and I guess the headline there, I got it here somewhere, says Avery's 7-game winning streak snapped or something like that. Avery pitched a heck of a ball game last night. Braves won. Heard a rumor that was the idea.
Avery did not get the win, but the Braves did, and you're right, that is the idea.
And that's 10 in a row the Braves have won that he has started.
Sanders is out of there on strikes. First strikeout for Shaw.
Got the fastball, but it was a little above and a little away from where Sanders wanted it. Got just a little piece of it, but fouled it right back into the catcher's mitt.
27 strikeouts and 117 at-bats. Make it 26 strikeouts and 117 at-bats for Dion. Jeff Blauser, the batter. Off his foot, 0-1. And he's hurting. He got himself a pretty good rip there. Jeff Porter on his way out to tend to it.
Sinking fastball, ran it right in on him. Couldn't tell where Blauser hit it, but look at that ball come in. Ooh. Right off the inside of the left ankle, it looked like.
Right on the instep. Bobby Cox joins the conversation as well. That hurts to watch. Well, it was above the instep. Right on the ankle bone. They spray a little ethyl chloride on there.
And the shoes say that he is okay.
Now Porter talks it over with a home plate umpire, Jerry Crawford.
See, Jeff must not have a shoe contract. He blacks over all of the logos on his. And has this space for rent.
If Lou Gehrig or one of those guys came back today, they wouldn't believe it. The 0-1 pitch. Downstairs, it's 1-1. I wonder what it'll be like in 50 years. It might be like race car drivers. You have sponsorships all over your uniform. The 1-1. Just missed inside. 2 balls and a strike.
A different Shaw this inning than the one we saw in the first. A little bit more aggressive. Throwing better pitches. I think his pitches are crisper, and he's throwing more in the strike zone. He
came in with an earned run average right at 3 despite his lowly record. Hit hard, but foul. Past third. Nice play by the young lady, the ball girl, down the third base line.
You notice early in the first inning, every fastball that he was throwing was straight. It was almost like he was tense, a little nervous, trying to muscle up. Now, a little bit smoother motion. He's just flicking it, and he's getting some good sink and some good velocity on it. And he's even shaking off some pitches now.
The 2-2. Fouled the other way. Blauser took a shot at one of the people that didn't stand up for the anthem, but missed him. Still 2-2. How could you come to a game invented in the U.S., played by almost 100% U.S. players, if you feel that way?
It could. You're assuming they feel that way. It could be ignorance. It's the same people who don't take their hats off down our way when it's being played.
Oh, I mean, here there are a lot of people who will stand up for the U.S. anthem and then sit down when the Canadian anthem is played. Those are the separatists.
How deep are we in right now?
What did we have to do with that?
I don't know.
He takes another shot over there, but misses.
Have you gotten me in knee deep yet?
You're on your own, big boy. 3-2 the count. Florida's been out a while for the second inning at Philadelphia. They lead 1-0. Hit hard and into left field. Glavine will take the turn, but will stop at second. So 2-out trouble here as Terry Pendleton comes to the plate. He ripped a single his first time. It's 3-0, and the Braves try to add more, but they're not going to add it against Jeff Shaw. Felipe Alou has seen enough, and Kent Bottenfield is going to come into the game. Shaw cannot last through the second inning. He surrenders 4 hits and 3 runs. And Bottenfield will get the call. He heads in, Shaw heads out, and we'll be back right after this. Portland, Oregon on to pitch. A disappointed Jeff Shaw on the Montreal bench, but everybody has days like he had today. Bottenfield will face Terry Pendleton with 2 on and 2 out. He's 1-4, a 3.66 earned run average. He's given up 10 home runs in 64 innings. He has walked 28, struck out 25. The league hitting .268 against him. Last year, Bottenfield 12-8 at Indianapolis, 1-2 at Montreal. Two on, 2 out. Fastball, curve, a slider, a change. The arsenal of Kent Bottenfield. Pendleton singled, later scored his first time. Glavine at second, Blauser at first. Braves trying to climb to 8 games over the 500 mark. One ball, no strikes. David Justice would be next. There are 2 out in the inning. Don Sutton, Skip Carey with you from the Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Look how open Pendleton is in that batter's box. And watch his front foot, how he dives into the pitch. He had a good cut there. It's 2-1.
Braves on a roll as far as homers are concerned. Pendleton could use a few more. Terry with only 4 right now. That's down from what you would expect out of him. His approach to hitting right now, Skip, leaves him a little bit vulnerable to inside pitches on the inside corner, but I think people have been pitching him away so much, he's willing to take a chance that they can't hit it in there to get himself a pitch outside to drive.
He pops this one up, and the inning should be over. Will Cordero is there. He's got it. And the inning comes to a close. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Braves lead it 3-0.
Authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Atlanta National League Baseball Club. It is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Atlanta National League Baseball Club is prohibited.
And we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Larry Walker will lead it off, hitting at .278. The line on Jeff Shaw for the day, an inning and 2/3. 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Glavine has been given an average of 4.7 runs a game by his teammates. He has 3 already in this one. Walker 2 out of 6 in this series, but he's made those hits count. He's driven in 4 runs. Braves trying to go 4-2 against Montreal for the year, and if they win today, they will at least keep pace for the series with the Giants, who are trying to sweep Houston today. A little bit outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Houston club struggling a little bit.
So they haven't gotten a whole lot of good pitching out of Greg Swindell, and they were really counting on that. Drabek has pitched fairly well, but doesn't have the record to go with it.
Houston 9.5 games out now. They've lost 7 of their last 10. And against teams in their own division, they are 10-17. Walker lays off. 2 balls and a strike to count. Three and 1. Moises Alou waits to hit next. Fastball on the outside edge. It's a full count.
Almost like the fan response here is scripted.
Fouled away. Count stays the same. Again, Glavine is ready. He got him. Walker out on strikes. Tommy records his first strikeout, and he made a dandy pitch on a tough hitter.
Walker likes it down. He likes it out over the plate, so Glavine goes just a little bit lower than where he wants it. That ball started out about knee-high. Walker had already committed. That's a good pitch and a good job of battling back by Tom Glavine.
Tell you how well the Giants are going. We've won 8 out of 12 and lost a game and a half in the standings. Alou waits and takes a strike on the corner, 0-1. You just have to hope those guys will cool off. But they are going to score some runs. I think everybody in their lineup had 2 hits yesterday. Sharply hit, but Lemke digs it out. 2 down. Greg Colbrunn is the batter. Meanwhile, in the American League West, Seattle, a game under 500, just 3 games out. Maybe son Chip is going to be with his 3rd straight pennant winner. Greg Colbrunn hitting .269 with 4 homers, 20 RBIs, 1 for 4 in the series. He drove in a run last night with a double to left center. And for all of those of you who qualify, happy Father's Day. Oh, and 2 the count. Two out, nobody aboard. Well hit left field. Gant on the move. He's there, and the inning is quickly over. A very easy inning for Tom Glavine. 1-2-3, nothing doing. At the end of 2, your score: Braves 3, Montreal nothing. On top 3-0, and hopeful of getting some more against reliever Ken Bottenfield of the Expos. David Justice, as you see, leads it off for Atlanta. TV time tomorrow night will be 7:30 Eastern time from Philadelphia, where it was 97 degrees yesterday. I don't know what the weather's like today. High and away to Justice, 1-0.
Do we have an official word on the pitching matchups?
Yes,
Down there yet?
Maddox and Schilling. Pete Smith will pitch on Tuesday against Danny Jackson, and John Smoltz, Ben Rivera Wednesday afternoon. The 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. When the Braves come home on Friday night, the Houston Astros are the opponents. What is it? Friday and Saturday are sold out. A few tickets available Sunday, I think. Last we heard. Split finger, he didn't get it. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Just missed outside. It's 3-1. Braves have a chance to make up some ground here before the All-Star break. Of our last 13 games, 10 are against expansion teams. But the way the Marlins are playing, they're not really an expansion team. They're tough. Fly ball foul, full count. And the Rockies were tough last night. They hammered the Padres 17-3.
A little bit of a milestone. They made it through a night in Mile High Stadium without a fight. They've been having some brawls out there.
With their pitching staff, you can see why they'd start throwing to people, because they really get racked up. Payoff pitch. Hit hard. DeShields boots it. Recovers it. Can't make a play. We'll see how they score it. He hears the Boo Birds here. Very charitable piece of scoring. They give him a hit.
Yeah, he had time to get in front of that, but I think he tried to play a little backhand Ole. See, he stopped so he could backhand it rather than squaring up. Didn't get the consistent hop, so right there you just take a bite out of it. Look at it from this angle. See, he has time to get over there. Right here, it slows down to play the backhand.
And I'm happy for David he got a hit, but that's ridiculous. The scoring in this league is really an adventure. No consistency at all. Outside again, 1 ball, no strikes. It's been that way for years. Nobody wants to do anything about it. So there's a bit of bad news. Rafael Belliard in the bullpen. You'll recall that Blauser fouled one off his foot, and apparently that's bothering him, or Rafael would not be getting ready so early.
With Gant in there, a chance for us to give you a look at the Mikan and National League extra base hit leaders, and Ron's name very prominent there. He trails Bonds and Williams, and Darren Dalton only 1 back.
A ball and a strike to count. Meanwhile, back at the game, the throw is to first, and Justice scampers back. Runner at first, nobody out. Breaking ball, might be 2. Out there. 5-4-3. Doubled up a fast man.
Lansing gets rid of it in a hurry and gives a good throw to DeShields at second. Once he gets it, Justice bearing down on him, but he already had a good enough balance that he could have gone either way to make the throw. Credit Ron Gant. He didn't quit on that. He made that a lot closer than it should have been.
All second basemen, or most second basemen, have learned to sidearm that ball to first base, because when you do that, the runner has no choice but to hit the dirt, and then he doesn't pile into you down there. Here's Sid Breen. Started to go, stopped. 1 ball, no strikes. Sid drove in a run his first time with a sacrifice fly. And he pops one down the right side. Will he get himself a speaker? No. Who's going to take it? Colbrunn does, and the inning is over. 1 hit, no runs, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. 3-0 Atlanta. As we guess, checks into the game, so that foul ball off the ankle by Jeff Blauser has him hurting. Phil Simmons of the Braves PR staff is here with us on this trip. He'll get information for us as to the severity of the injury. Will Cordero leads off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Cordero hitting .239, 1 out of 7 in this series. They're underway in Houston. No score after 1. The Giants and Astros. Tom Glavine has himself a 3-0 lead. He seeks his 9th victory of the year. Right through there to Cordero, 0-1. Glavine really knows how to pitch, doesn't he, Don?
Yeah, he knows how to. That's right, Skip. He knows how to change speeds. He also knows how to pitch with a lead. One of the things I've always been impressed with in Tom Glavine is his composure. You can't tell if he's up 6 or down 6.
2 balls, 1 strike. I thought of a question I wanted to ask you earlier today.
Yes, sir.
When you started out, you were in the minor leagues. Everybody has bad days. Did you ever get to the point where you thought about packing it in?
No, not really, because and it's kind of hard to explain to somebody unless you know me well. See, I thought I was a pro at 12, and it was just a matter of time until they started paying me to be one. So I felt I'd taken all the lumps along the way, so that one more loss was just that. It was one more loss, and I was taught very early to break the season down.
That should be easy. It's Lemke calling for it. 1 down. Go ahead.
Break the season down into, if you make 35 starts, it's like 35 individual seasons. You should come out of every ball game with something positive to build on and not like losing. And I have remodeled a couple of clubhouses in the league. I own stock in a clubhouse in St. Louis and one in Philadelphia, and but what I try to do is not let somebody else have to pay the freight for it. But once it was over, and the next ball game was a whole new adventure, and try to prepare for it.
Using it as a learning experience.
Yes.
rather than
a frustration experience.
I'll never forget the first time I met Bob Horner. A very similar situation. He had just signed out of Arizona State, and they were going to bring him to the big leagues. And they had me interview him after the game in the booth in Atlanta, and after the interview was over, he said, "Mr. Carey, can I ask you a question?" Well, I was, number one, I liked being called Mr. Carey. I said, "Sure." He said, "Why are they making such a big deal out of this?" The pitch. Outside. I said, "Well, not many guys. Dave Winfield's the only one I could think of who had gone straight." He said, "Well, yeah." He said, "But if I come up here and I fail, at least when I go down, I'll know what I have to work on." And I knew right then he was going to make it because of his mental effort. Didn't know it, but felt he would make it just because of the way he approached his business, which sounds a lot like what you're saying, but from a hitter's point of view.
Well, I've always thought it was a job, and fortunately I was taught that your self-worth shouldn't come from what you do for a living. There should be something inside of you and an environment and a background and a family that gives you self-worth. This is just a job. Too often we make it a bigger deal than it is. And I think too often a lot of guys use it to fill a void that wasn't there, but it's still only a job, and it should be approached like any other job.
Do the best you can and then go on.
If you can look in the mirror and say, "I gave it all I had."
Hit to third. Pendleton on a nice hop. 2 down. Laker is retired. He is now 1 for 4 in the series. And Bottenfield will hit for himself. He's 1 for 17 on the year. The big right-hander stands in there. Glavine is allowed a hit, but he's faced the minimum. The Expos announced today that Jack Clark will discontinue his contractual association with the ball club. He has requested and has been granted an unconditional release. Says he won't play baseball this year, but he might consider coming back next year. A ball and 2 strikes. Well, that works for Steve Bedrosian. I hope it works for him. Just missed the corner. 2-2 the count. Full count now. Tried to throw the fastball, but missed with that, which is unusual. And Bottenfield's 2 for 18. Once he got the 3-ball count, you knew it'd be a fastball, and he hit it hard. Here's DeShields, who got their other hit. Bottenfield talks with Louis Pujols, the first base coach.
Another look at the pitch. Fastball right down the middle. Even a pitcher can get a bat on this one. Not a bad hitting style. Sometimes when you get a pitcher up there, you see on the board the guy's 1 for 17 or anybody, you think, all I want to do is throw a strike, and then it's absolutely the opposite of muscling up like Shaw did early in the inning. You get so loose and so flexible that you end up missing the strike zone altogether.
Strike to DeShields, who singled off Glavine's foot his first time. The Expos' fun-loving mascot Yuppie holding forth down by the Atlanta dugout. Yuppie, I believe, is French for dork, but I'm not sure. A ball and a strike to count. There he is now. What a gun.
From the shape of the body, I would say it's a rather large pear in an Orange's outfit.
2 balls and a strike.
Grown just outside of Chernobyl.
That's Mr. Warmth, Don Sutton, working here. The 2-1 pitch. Evens it up at 2-2.
Let's put it this way. Were it not for Max Patkin, none of those guys would have ever been able to do what they're doing.
The Chicken and the Fanatic still lead the league by
absolute
a mile. Right up the middle again. Bottenfield wisely stops at second. And the tying run comes to the plate. And 2-out trouble here. Twice DeShields has hit it right back where it came from.
Maybe one of the reasons he has become better against left-handers is that he seems to wait much longer. So anything out away from him, as this is, right on the outside corner. Look, all he did was just take it right back up the middle, didn't pull off of it. And that's the key to any left-hander hitting another left-hander.
Boy, it looks like an abandoned Air Force base out in right field. Look at all those paper airplanes out there. The stretch. Lansing takes a strike. It's 0-1. The pitch to Lansing. A little tap toward short. Belliard in, up. Pac-Man throws. And the inning is over. So a 2-out threat comes to nothing for Montreal. 2 hits, no runs, no errors. And a lot of airplanes left. At the end of 3, it's 3-0 Atlanta. Nothing is our score. The Braves have the lead, and as we approach the 4th inning, and as Damon Berryhill gets ready to lead it off for Atlanta, here with the play-by-play story, Don Sutton.
Why, thank you, Mr. Carey. It's going to be Berryhill, Lemke, and Tom Glavine. 3-5-0 for the Braves, 0-3-1 for the Expos. They got a base runner in every inning, have the Braves, but the only one in which they scored. Glavine himself set them down in order only in the second inning. Berryhill a fly to center his first time up. Nice play by DeShields to retire him. DeShields has made a couple of nice catches out there already. Check that. Grissom has made a couple of nice catches. Bottenfield in relief of Shaw. He went an inning and 2/3. Good fastball there, and it's 0-1. Another chance for Grissom. This one a lot easier. That one had ice on it when it came down. One gone. Here's Mark Lemke. He grounded to first his first time up. For Bottenfield, this is his 8th year in professional baseball. Drafted in the 4th round of the 1986 free agent draft. He got promoted to the big league roster in just 2 years. That's out of play. 0-1. Out of James Madison High School in Portland, Oregon. He's a big guy. He was an all-city defensive end, too, in football out of high school. One and one to Lemke. The left side, Cordero, good arm, and he throws out Lemke. So Bottenfield has set down 4 in a row, and I bring up Tom Glavine.
Cordero can pick it at shortstop. He's a very flashy performer, and he has a strong arm, which he showcases here. Hey, how about the story in the New York papers that Darryl Strawberry allegedly did not pay taxes on his card shows and autograph sessions and all that? Doesn't he pay taxes on enough? I don't think they cut him some slack.
Well, I think a lot of that came right after the '86 season. First pitch to Glavine. Another chance for Cordero. But he has time, and he throws him out. We'll deal with money matters a little bit later. Braves go quietly here in the 4th inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Bottenfield. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Mets on top. Atlanta's on top. Every ball club makes out a big lineup card like this. It's posted in the dugout, the batting order, and in the opposition, and then the pinch hitters are down below. But if you look out beside Grissom's name, in the circle, there's a 4. That's to let them know if they get caught up in the defensive part of the game. Marquise, you lead off the 4th inning. You see by Walker's name, there's a circle blackened in. Well, Walker led off the 2nd inning, so they pencil that out. Now, at the end of this inning, the circle will be beside somebody else's name. So really, you don't have to do a whole lot of thinking as to whether or not you're going to hit. Bottom of the 4th inning, Braves on top, 3-0. And along with my partner, Mr. Carey, I'd like to send along happy Father's Day wishes to my dad and to Bill Williams and Buddy Hardman and Ted Del Negri and all the rest of you who hopefully are enjoying a day with your family today. So happy Father's Day. Glavine working on a 3-hitter. DeShields has 2 of them. He led off the game with a single. The other base hit belonging to Bottenfield. Here is Grissom, Walker, and Alou to follow. Ball 1 is outside. Two 2-0. Grissom out of Lakeshore High School in College Park. Attended Florida A&M. Heck of a pitcher down there. 9-3 with a 240 earned run average. There's a strike. It's 2-1. In 1988, he finished in the top 10 in the NCAA Division I batting race. Guess who won it that year? Another good ball player. Tough play for Pendleton. He better hurry. He does. Not in time. Infield single for Grissom. Hit number 4 for the Expos.
Pendleton did all he could do here. You can't blame him. Just give Grissom credit for having great speed. 500th career hit for Grissom.
And a standing ovation for him. And Tom Glavine tosses the ball over to Louis Pujols, and a tip of the hat from Marquise Grissom. You see the little exchange that took place between Pujols and Grissom? I don't think Grissom wanted to ask for the ball. But a little touch of class from Pendleton and from Glavine to get it over there. He's going to have a few more milestones before his career is over. Here's Walker. Glavine struck him out the first time. A base hit. That'll bring up the tying run in Moises Alou as the Expos threaten in the bottom of the 4th inning. They get their 5th hit. Alou 0 for 1. He grounded to second. By the way, the guy who won that batting title for the NCAA back in '88 was Jeff Bagwell.
He might win a few more himself.
Grissom at second, Walker at first. Good pitch from Glavine. It's 0-1. Alou has only grounded into 3 double plays all year. Expos don't hit into too many. Fair ball. And Berryhill goes to Bream. That'll probably be scored a sacrifice, but I'll bet you he was trying to bunt for a base hit. 2-3 on the put out there at second and third with 1 out.
I don't like that play, do you? Here's a guy who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I like it as a Braves fan, but I don't like it generally speaking. At least he avoided stepping on the ball and got the runners over.
That'll bring up Greg Colbrunn. Colbrunn, a fly to left his first time up. You got anything on Blauser? Could be 2. Belliard. I thought Belliard would come home with that. He had the chance, but he throws out Colbrunn at first. 6-3 on the putout. An RBI for Colbrunn. Grissom scores, and it's a 3-1 ball game.
They say it's a bad bruise, lower left leg for Blauser. That's all they know at this point in time. Here's the play again. The runners went right away, and with a 3-run lead, they took the safe out at first.
Belliard, I was watching him on the play. He came up looking to home, and I thought he was going to throw to the plate. First pitch swinging, little looper to center. Lemke's calling. And that'll take care of Cordero. So some pretty good damage control by Glavine and the Braves. Expos get the first 2 on, come away with 1 run. We have played 4 complete north of the border. It's the Braves 3, Expos 1.
1993 Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Micotin. Step up to the cure. Step up to the fight.
Ah, thank goodness we found you. Because we'd never forgive ourselves if we let you miss this opportunity. You can now buy an Oldsmobile Achieva Special Edition with air, automatic anti-lock brakes, and more for only $14,695. Well, your neighbors certainly thought it was a good deal. It's your money.
Beneath the surface of your skin, surrounding the cells, that's where the athlete's foot fungus grows. So that's where you have to get to cure your athlete's foot. Mycotin is what you need. Mycotin is specially formulated to penetrate the skin surface with myconazole and kill the annoying fungus right where it starts. So if you want to get rid of your athlete's foot, remember, you've got to penetrate to cure. Mycotin penetrates. Mycotin cures.
Boom! Last Action Hero. What do you think of anyone who doesn't see this movie?
Big mistake.
I love this place.
I think it's the biggest movie of the summer. And now when you go to Burger King and order a flame-broiled Whopper with large fries and a medium drink, you get this Last Action Hero animated action cup free. Like him, you can be large and in charge. So see the movie and collect all 4 cups. It's your way right away. I love this place, and I'm going to see the movie.
Braves lead now 2 as they come to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Skip Carey, Don Sutton with you for 3 more outs. Pete Van Wieren and Joe Simpson will wrap it up. Deion Sanders will lead it off. Walked and scored, and he struck out.
What's next week's rotation? Do you know?
Yes. I think you and Joseph open on T&B tomorrow. There's a ball, and it's 1-0.
They give me those computer printouts, but I seem to lose them within the first 30 seconds. Yeah.
2-0 to Deion Sanders. Life has not been all peachy for Sanders since he came back. He's only hitting 179. That's out of play, and it's 2-1. 15 out of 84, and getting a steady diet of off-speed pitches. Chases a high fastball. Count all even, 2-2. Isn't that the way it is, too? You see so many off-speed pitches, all of a sudden there's something straight, and it can be capped bill high, and it's hard not to go up the ladder after it.
He had a great quote himself in USA Today. He said, baseball's a game that plays with your mind.
Chases another high fastball. This will get out of play. Still 2-2. They're just staying upstairs with the fastball, and he keeps fouling them away.
I think Bottenfield might go up just a little bit higher on the next one. Two balls, 2 strikes. Let's see what Laker has in mind. 2-1. Here come the changeup. The split finger. Usually if a guy shakes off 2 or 3 pitches, you can look for something off speed. Drill. That's going to be off the glove. Could be 2 and should be 2. It is. It's a double for Deion Sanders. They'd have been better off throwing the high fastball as it works out. That didn't do much. Stayed up above the knees, and Sanders hit it hard. Colbrunn had a shot at it, but it was just hit too sharply. So a little insurance at second base. And here comes Rafael Belliard. Remember, he came on in place of Jeff Blauser after Blauser fouled one off the inside of his left foot. More like low on the left leg. Nice bunt. No advance by Sanders. Not too much of a jump. Belliard, I think, thought that was going to bounce a little bit further down the left field line. Good idea. It just didn't work. See Belliard looking in dismay at Sanders, but he didn't get the ball far enough down the line. And he bunted it in the air first, and Dion had to wait to make sure it wasn't caught. You see that ball go up in the air at second base, you're not sure exactly what's going to happen. And that's why he's still at second base. No sacrifice, just a 2-3.
I'll bet you if we had a shot from the center field camera, we couldn't tell by looking at it how far out toward the mound that was. So Sanders is still at second. There is one out, and here's Terry Pendleton. A single and a pop to short. Terry has scored a run. This time the left field carrying fairly well, but Alou's got a bead on it. Near the corner, he makes the catch. Well, let's take a look from center field. Here's kind of the angle Deion Sanders would have. Watch the ball go up in the air. You can't tell if that's right straight up, and you can see he was hung up on the play. I'm sorry, Skip, I forgot you're the analyst.
That's okay, Don. I don't get paid by the word.
2 outs for David Justice. Justice 2 for 2. He scored a run, and he has an RBI. Ball one outside. You think there are people who do?
I know. I can think of some analysts who think they do.
Of course, none of them studied under you, did they?
No comment.
1-0 to Justice. Off speed and over, and it's 1-1. Sanders got the leadoff double. He's still standing at second. Belliard out on the bunt. Pendleton out on the fly to left. Tough play for Cordero. He's not going to come up with it. That'll probably be an infield single. It'll give Justice 3 for the day. It is. It's a base hit for David Justice. And they're at the corners with 2 gone.
Houston has an early lead, 1-0 over the Giants as the Astros bat in the bottom of the second.
Ron Gant will step in for the Braves. He's 0 for 1. He walked in the second inning, but he grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. John Olerud extended his hitting streak to 25 games.
Boy, oh boy.
Got a single in the 4th inning.
And he's not just legging out a hit every now and then. He's hitting the daylights out of the ball. Funny how you have to scout a guy, I guess, a lot to make it, because he wasn't that impressive in the World Series last year. Didn't look like a good hitter at all.
You know, I heard a story about Bobby Dorr, I think it was, who was a scout for the Toronto Blue Jays. Saw him in 4 at-bats. Saw him walk 3 times to get 1 base hit. There's a strike again. It's 0-1. Came back with a report. Draft him in the 1st round. Take him immediately to the big leagues.
Wow.
And Pat Gillick said, well, how can you give a report like that? And he said, well, I've seen him, and he has the best idea of the strike zone of any youngster I've ever seen. Reminds me a lot of the way Ted Williams looked as a youngster. That's some pretty high praise right there.
I would say so. One of the greatest hitters to ever play the game.
0-1 again. Base hit. Here comes another run home. Some clutch 2-out hitting from Ron Gant. He gets an RBI. And a little more breathing room for Tom Glavine. It's 4-1 Braves.
Another look. Again, a breaking ball of some kind that stayed out over the plate. Gant's 3rd RBI of this series.
Ground ball the first off the bat of Bream. Colbrunn will take it himself. That'll wrap up the 5th inning. But the Braves pick up 1. They do it on 3 hits. They leave 2 stranded. We're halfway home. Braves on top.
On National Geographic Explorer, In the heart of Russia, the legendary Volga River is beset by change. Her people tell the story. Then, throughout Central America, tombs have concealed their secrets for hundreds of years.
We may think that the Maya were obsessed with death, but to them it was a way of life.
Through the discovery of their dead, their culture comes to life. National Geographic Explorer, 9 Eastern tonight, exclusively on TBS.
Hours a day across Europe, Asia, and America. 70,000 of the best people on the ground are working to bring you the best service in the sky.
We love to fly and it shows.
This is unbelievable!
In the July WCW magazine, get a sneak peek at Sting's personal diary. Find out why Barry Windham is silent, but deadly. And get a mammoth poster of the Mammoth Man himself, Big Van Vader.
How did they find that out?
Get your copy now on newsstands everywhere, or save up to 25% off the cover price by subscribing today. Call 1-800-GET-WCW1.
We go to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Pete Van Weer and Joe Simpson joining you now for the second half of the game. Braves leading at 4-1, getting some early runs for Tom Glavine.
That's nice to see, too. Gives the pitchers a little chance to relax some. But the last time Tommy got an early lead was out in Los Angeles. He had 4 runs to work with. Couldn't make that stand up. A little better job today protecting that lead, even though he gave up a run his last inning. And that was the first run he's given up to the Expos in 13 innings this year.
It'll be the catcher, Tim Laker, leading it off for the Expos. He grounded out to third his first time. Bill Risley, a right-hander, has begun to loosen up in the Montreal bullpen, so we'll probably see a pinch hitter for Bottenfield next. And Laker takes ball 1. There's Risley, who'll be the Montreal Expos' next pitcher. Frank Bolick has moved to the on-deck circle. He'll bat for Bottenfield. Right through there for a strike, 1-1.
One thing Tommy's done today when he's fallen behind in the count, he has come back with just a straight batting practice type fastball to make the Expos put it in play.
High in the air to left field, Ron Gant is there for the catch, 1 down. And now Frank Bolick will pinch hit for Bottenfield. Bolick hitting .238. He has 3 homers, 17 RBIs, 5 out of 19 as a pinch hitter. Former Georgia Tech player. Up high, ball 1.
And not a bad job at all by Kent Bottenfield to more or less hold the Braves at bay, giving up only the 1 run in 3 1/3 innings.
2-0 the count now on Bolick. That caught the outside corner. You see those seats right behind home plate there, behind the glass? For those folks sitting at the table, that's something they call the President's or the Catcher's Club here at Olympic Stadium. There's the 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. If you'd like to come and enjoy a ball game from field level, you can buy a seat in there for only $37.50.
$37.50, huh?
$37.50 will get you in.
And anything hit higher than 6 feet above home plate, you can't see it at all.
On the ground is short, Rafael Belliard gobbles it up, throwing to first in time, 2 down.
But you have an excellent view of any ground out.
And we'll go back to the top of the order now. Delino to Shields. He's 2 for 2 off Glavine.
Now 7 for 34 in his career against Tom. 0-1, the count into Shields. It's even at a ball and a strike.
It was a good at-bat he had against Glavine his last time up. Fell behind in the count. Finally worked him to a, I believe it was a 2-2 pitch that he lined into center field.
And he's 3 for 3 as he lines this one into left field. So the Shields reaching with a 2-out single. That's hit number 6 off Tom Glavine. It'll bring up Mike Lansing. Lansing 0 for 2. Hit into a 6-4 3-double play in the first. Grounded out to short again in the third.
Another unique part about Glavine's last start, where he used only 79 pitches, was that it was the first start all year where he did not walk a batter, and he has not walked anyone today.
We're keeping tabs on Glavine's pitch count today, and we'll let you know when he gets to 79 today, so you can see how remarkable a job that was last time out, to go 9 innings using only 79 pitches. He's up to 68 right now. That's the pitch counter that Leo Mazzoni uses in the Braves dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count on Lansing. 4-1 Atlanta. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And Houston now leads San Francisco 2-0 as they go to the top of the 3rd at the Astrodome. Count goes to 2-1 on Lansing. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Another bouncing ball to the left side. Pendleton will handle this one. And that'll do it for Montreal in the 5th. We go to the 6th inning. Still 4-1 Atlanta.
This is your world, genuine and true, working together in all that you do, and you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
For 1993, Fleer Ultra Baseball has even more gold foil stamping, dramatically improved backs, and new Ultra Hot limited edition subsets. 93 Fleer Ultra. Proof you still can't buy a better baseball card.
If this is a lock, this is a Schlage lock. Schlage, the Doberman of locks.
I dreaded this visit to the doctor. I had stomach problems. You know, more chalky medicine to take. I mean, just getting it down is... But what my doctor told me about really blew my mind. New Mylanta gel caps.
Introducing the antacid with absolutely no chalky taste. New Mylanta gel caps. Potent antacid relief now in an easy-to-swallow gel cap. New Mylanta gel caps.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Checking some scores for you in the National League. Marlins have a home run from Orestes Estrada to have their lead, to take their lead, and Snyder and Piazza have homered for the Dodgers. Tom Pagnozzi has a homer for the Cardinals. Craig Biggio with his 12th homer for Houston. They lead it now 2-0. And the other games just underway. Pittsburgh and New York get underway later tonight. In the American League, New York shutting out Minnesota 5-0. They have a home run from Paul O'Neill. Mickey Tettleton is homered for Detroit, and they got a late start. Had a rain delay. Also a rain delay at Cleveland today. Chris Hoyles is homered for Baltimore. Toronto trailing Boston 2-1. Don't know yet about John Olerud. I do know that he was on base and did score a run, so it could be that he extended his hitting streak. Well, he did get his hitting streak extended, we're told now. Kansas City and Oakland, Chicago, California, Texas, Seattle, all later tonight.
And as we go to the 6th inning, a bit of a delay here. As Tom Glavine was leaving the mound at the end of the bottom half of the 5th inning, he complained about the condition of the mound to plate umpire Jerry Crawford. So Crawford called for the ground crew to come out and do a little groundskeeping, a little repair work.
Funny thing about this, to me, Pete, is that this is a covered stadium.
Yes.
And they still cover the cutouts at night like you would on an outdoor stadium to cover the dirt part of the infield in case it rains. And I was told last night that the reason they do that is they water those areas real heavy, and to avoid them drying out, they keep them covered to keep them moist and to hold it and keep it packed down. That's why it's a little surprising that the mound did not hold their packing ability from last night.
It is a strange sight, though, to see a game end here, and it's an indoor stadium, and then see them go out and cover up the dirt.
Yeah, you'd expect the sprinklers to come on at any minute.
Frank Bullock stays in the game at 3rd. And the new pitcher for Montreal, right-hander Bill Risley. This will be his first appearance since coming up from Ottawa in AAA. There are the numbers he compiled there. He'll be batting 2nd in the order. Bottenfield worked 3 1/3 innings. He gave up 4 hits and 1 run. No walks or strikeouts for Bottenfield.
Risley had a cup of coffee with the Expos last year, appeared in 1 game, and it was a start, and he won that ball game.
They like his stuff. They got him from the Reds organization. Good fastball to Berryhill, 0-1. He came over along with John Wetland in that trade. Dave Martinez, Scott Ruskin, and Willie Green going the other way. A ball and a strike now to Damon Berryhill. Berryhill, Lemke, and Glavine do up here in the 6th. Braves on top 4-1. Two and 1 the count now on Damon. That'll be out of play. The count 2-2. Very good setup for the Expos right now, and they want to call up a player. Ottawa only a couple of hours away from Montreal. And if the AAA ball club's at home and the Expos are at home, they can drive over.
Something interesting about this guy, too, and about that 1 start he made last year for Montreal. Remember when there were a lot of delays or a lot of postponements between the Expos and Dodgers in light of the civil unrest in Los Angeles last year? They had a lot of doubleheaders in July, 3 doubleheaders in a row. This guy was called up for 1 day, made the start, went back to AAA. So 1 day in the big leagues was his tenure before this call-up, and he was 1-0.
It's full now, 3-2 on Damon Berryhill. Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach of the Expos, who was quoted in the newspaper the other day as saying that this season has been the most challenging he's ever been through. Trying to determine roles for people on this pitching staff. When you look at the starting rotation outside of Dennis Martinez and Ken Hill, they've been putting different people in the 3, 4, and 5 spots all season long. And with the exception of the closer, John Wetland, in the bullpen, all sorts of experimentation out there with who has what job. 3-2 on the way. Bounce foul again by Berryhill.
Damon's going to be able to settle in and get a few at-bats here over the next 3 days. Getting a rare start as the catcher for Tom Glavine, and then tomorrow with Maddox on the hill, he always catches Greg Maddox, and then Pete Smith as well, who will pitch on Tuesday.
Again, the 3-2 on the way. Fouled off again. Still 3-2. Now the 3-2 on the way, and he lost him. Good at bat for Berryhill. He fouled off a lot of 2-strike pitches and works his way on with a leadoff walk.
He's had a lot of good at bats lately, especially the ones that have resulted in extra base hits. But when you can battle like that against a pitcher you haven't seen and still draw the walk, and another good sign that he's being very patient up there as well.
Lemke 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice, once to second, once to short. And a ball outside. Now Tim Laker out to the mound.
One of the things that has plagued Grizzly in his career has been bases on balls. He's been a little wild. Last year at Indianapolis, he was starting and relieving, but 95 2/3 innings, 47 walks. And part of the reason he was called up this year was because they felt like he had begun to throw a few more strikes.
And there is a strike in the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mark. Berryhill at first, nobody out. 4-1 Braves. We're in the top of the 6th. Braves trying to take 2 out of 3 from the Expos, something they've rarely done the last decade here at Olympic Stadium.
He's not afraid to air it out to first either, is he? He tried to throw that one over there as hard as he was throwing to the plate.
Here's the 1-1 pitch, 2-1. Grizzly behind another hitter.
Fastball, slider, and changeup, but he really telegraphed that changeup, slowed his delivery down from the stretch, and was a real quick tip-off for Mark Lemke.
Here's the 2-1 on the way. Line into right field. Base hit for Lemke. Berryhill will round the bag at second. Head for third. Larry Walker's got a good throwing arm. There'll be a play at third. No, there won't. It gets past Bullock into the Atlanta dugout. And Damon Berryhill will come all the way around to score. Down to second goes Lemke. And he's going to be entitled to take third now.
It's because the overthrow was from the outfield.
So it's now 5-1 Atlanta.
Second error of the day by that guy Larry Walker, and those are rare because he's a fine defensive outfielder. We've talked before though about how sometimes an outfielder will make a pretty good throw and then get credited with an error because somebody else didn't come up with the play. Let's see if this hits Berryhill. Yeah, it may have hit him on the helmet, as a matter of fact, but it goes into the dugout and Walker gets the error nonetheless. Good hustle by Damon to try to take the extra base.
So Walker charged with his second error of the day. And it's been the case for the last 2 nights here. Whenever Montreal has misplayed a ball, the Braves have made him pay. 2 unearned runs last night. Nothing and 1 the count on Tom Glavine. Runner at third, infield in. Foul back 0-2.
And I can tell you from personal experience the worst part about that, and probably why Walker was kneeling down over there. Yes, it's tough when you make a mistake like that that cost your team a run, but also when you had such a great chance of getting the runner. Thought you had him gunned down.
Walker only had 2 errors all season coming into this game. He's committed 2 here today. It's 1-2 now on Glavine. Upstairs, 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Check swing foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. More bullpen activity for Montreal. Mike Gardner has begun to loosen up.
Larry Walker won a Gold Glove last year for the Expos and had 2 plays last season where he threw out runners at first base after singles to right field, what looked like they were going to be singles.
That'll do it for Glavine. The high fastball got him. Grizzly records his first strikeout. 1 out, runner third. And back to the top of the order now, Deion Sanders. Deion today has walked, struck out, and doubled, and scored 2 runs.
This ought to be a guy tailor-made for Deion. Good hard thrower, likes to use his fastball a lot.
Infield remains in. There's a called strike, 0-1. 5 runs, 9 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 errors now for Montreal. He'll keep you loose up there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He can air it out, no question.
Here's the 1-1. Took something off that one. The Shields going back into shallow center field. 2 down. The runner has to stay put at third. And that'll bring up Rafael Belliard. Belliard came on to play short in the bottom of the third. Jeff Blauser fouled the ball off his foot and had to leave the game. Belliard 0 for 1 since coming into the game. Tried to advance a runner with a sacrifice bunt. The runner was Sanders at second. He didn't get the bunt out far enough in front of the plate for Sanders to advance. So he was charged with an at-bat. Time call, a paper plane. Retrieved by Jerry Crawford.
Paper airplanes are beginning to look like the fuzzy things floating in the air that we saw last night. There's so many airplanes flying everywhere.
Yeah, those are gone today, all those fuzzy things. Off the end of the bat, foul. Count 0-1.
Well, Lonnie Dale, our director, I think figured out what it was. They were trying to get all the pigeons out of the stadium, and the bad part was that they got them out, but the bad part was they were ushering all the pigeons out through a fan.
Nothing in 1 on Belliard. And the pitch to Rafi is a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two men out, a runner at third. 1 more run in here in the top of the 6th. Here's the 1-1. Look out, Rafi. That hit him right in the chest, and he is hurt. Jeff Porter out to 10 to Rafael Belliard. Got him right in the breastbone.
That's scary.
You've seen how hard Risley throws.
Watch this. Looked like it glanced off his arm first and then right in the breadbasket, knocked the wind out of him probably. And remember how many times we've talked about hitters and how they take a pitch, turning that front shoulder away from the pitch and turning their back to the pitcher. Well, there is a reason why you need to try to turn your back to a pitch. Rafael opened himself up and hit him in a tough place.
He's able to stay in the game. He's down at first now. Runners first and third for Terry Pendleton. Pendleton 1 for 3, had a single back in the first inning to extend his hitting streak to 10 games. One ball, no strikes to Terry. Giants have picked up a run. They're still batting in the top of the third. Houston leading San Francisco 2-1 now. Out of play and the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves head for Philadelphia right after this game. They'll play the Phillies tomorrow night. Good pitching matchup. Craig Maddox against Kurt Schilling. 3 games of the Phillies, then back to Atlanta. The 1-1. Downstairs, check swing by Pendleton. One of those embarrassing moments for Tim Laker. Pendleton, a left-hand hitter, and Laker appealed to first base umpire Rich Riker. It's the third base umpire, Jim Quick, who needs to make that call, and Quick said no swing. 2-1 on Pendleton. Foul, back 2-2.
Series about as far away from the plate as you can get. When he takes his stance, his right foot is in the upper right-hand corner of the left-handed batter's box. But whatever works, and it has been working for him of late. Watch where he plants that right foot. You don't see guys get in that spot in the box too often.
Here's the 2-2 on the way, and it's full on Pendleton. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The runner at first, Belliard, will be moving on the pitch. David Justice waiting on deck. There goes Belliard. 3-2 to Pendleton. Lined and caught by the Shields. Good play by Delino to Shields, and that ends the top half of the 6th inning. Braves pick up 1 more, though. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Atlanta.
No matter how uncomfortable life may get, with ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom, at least your underwear will be comfortable.
Linda, will you...
They don't just look good. They're made to hug your body.
Linda?
To move with you. Some things are bound to make you uncomfortable. With ribbed whites,
Linda,
your underwear will never be one of them. Ribbed whites from Fruit of the Loom. Clothes for the best of your life.
Marry me.
Gun protectant. Nothing works better on your car's leather, vinyl, and rubber. It can turn just about anything into a great-looking car.
Nice car. What, this pile of junk?
Give it the gun with Son of a Gun. And now give your tires a quick kick with One-Step Tire Care.
The official forecast for summer 1993. Light to moderate breezes, cooler temperatures, and gently falling utility bills. Conditions are expected to persist for the next 20 to 45 years. Other than that, everything's quiet. Hunter, the quiet fan.
There you see the line score. A good start for the Braves today, that 3-run first inning. And Tom Glavine's made it held up. The Braves have gotten him a couple of more runs. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Atlanta up by 4. It'll be Marquise Grissom, Larry Walker, and Moises Alou due up here in the 6th. Grissom 1 for 2. He got his 500th career hit back in the 4th inning. Infield single.
The Braves have done a good job of controlling him. He was only 1 for 12 in the series in Atlanta, and that hit came against Glavine, his last at bat of the series. And now 2 for 7 in this series with a walk. But they've really done a good job of keeping him off the bases.
Strike in the inside corner, 0-1. The count to Grissom. It's even now, 1-1.
Has Glavine gone beyond that 79 pitch count, Pete?
This will be number 74. It's getting close. A ball, 2 strikes now to Grissom. So we've counted pitches for all the years that we've been in Atlanta, and we can't recall anyone going 9 innings and under 80 pitches as Glavine did his last start. On the ground to short, right at Belliard. One gone in the bottom of the 6th.
Looks like Raphael's all right. Last night he came in for defense in the 9th inning and had a tough chance with a runner at second base. And that's what's so tough about what he's asked to do when he comes in for defensive purposes in a close ball game. One little mistake by him is really magnified when it's a close ball game, but he's always ready when called on.
Now Larry Walker. Walker 1 for 2. Two and nothing. The count on Walker. Check swing foul makes it 2-1.
Really one of the best kept secrets in the National League until last year. And everybody started hearing about Larry Walker winning the Gold Glove. Also won a silver bat.
And here comes pitch number 79 of this game for Tom Glavine. He got one out in the 6th inning. And when he threw his 79th pitch in his last start, he had finished off the New York Mets. This time he finishes off Larry Walker for out number 2 in the 6th. And the batter will be Moises Alou. Alou is 0 for 1. He's grounded out to second and had a sacrifice bunt. Want to know the count on Alou. Mets have a road trip beginning tomorrow in New York. They'll also play the Florida Marlins before coming home again. And you've got to feel a little bit for Anthony Young of the New York Mets, the youngster that's lost 22 consecutive games over the last 2 years. He pitches Wednesday against Montreal and Dennis Martinez, the Expos' hottest pitcher.
Can't catch a break, can he?
2-1 the count on Alou. Broken bat roller out to short. Rafael Belliard gobbles this one up. 1, 2, 3 go the Expos in the 6th. We finished 6 innings here at Olympic Stadium. Still 5-1 Braves.
And another absolute original.
If you're going to do something different, you better do it better. Take this incredible new camcorder, the Sharp View Cam. The viewfinder, gone. Replaced with this LCD view screen. So it sits in your hand, not stuck to your face. And look, the lens pivots, so I can shoot up, down, even myself. Easy. And watch this, instant playback.
Cool move, Daddy. The new Sharp View Cam, an absolute original.
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
Atlanta Braves Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, to remind you friends know when to say when.
Top of the 7th inning, Braves on top 5-1. Time to check the Aflac trivia question for today. Maybe some defensive changes for the Expos first. Lou Frazier in left field. Who holds the record for the most career hits in the World Series? Got the answer to that one, Mr. Van Weeren?
Got a guess.
They'll give you the answer next half inning. Another defensive change. New pitcher, Mike Gardner for the Expos.
Gardner making his 17th appearance. 0-2, 4.84 in run average. First pitch to Justice outside, ball 1. David today 3 for 3. 3 singles. He's scored 1 run, driven in 1. That just missed being a fair ball. The count even 1-1 on Justice. If you're keeping score with this, Frazier will bat second in Montreal's batting order, and the pitcher is now batting in the 5th spot. Here's the 1-1 on the way. Line drive to right. Walker. He staggered a little bit out there. Almost misplayed that ball. One gone, but it wasn't pretty.
No. A little bit of a rough day for the Gold Glover today.
They've got a ring of lights here at Olympic Stadium that's a little bit lower than you'd see in most ballparks, and that might have gone right into that area where the lights are. I think it did.
Exactly.
One down for Ron Gant, who has walked it into a double play and singled in a run, driving in his 46th run of the year back in the 5th inning. Risley worked just the 1 inning, allowed a hit, an unearned run. He walked 1, struck out 1, hit 1. The count now to Ron Gant. Mike Gardner pitched with the Red Sox for most of last year. There's a strike, 2-1.
Started in the Mariner organization, was a highly prized prospect in this system. Made a brief appearance with Seattle before going to Boston.
Into right center field. It's going to fall for at least 1. Will it get between them? Over quickly, Marquise Grissom can't quite come up with it, and Gant's going to trot into second base with a stand-up double. So Gant remains red hot, 2 for 3 this afternoon. And 17 hits now in his last 46 at-bats.
One of the problems for a center fielder when you play as shallow as Marquise Grissom does, number one, you take away a lot of line drive singles to center, but also on balls like this that are hit between you and one of the other outfielders and hit with any authority, gives you very little time to cut the ball off.
Especially on turf.
On the turf, it's extremely difficult. Otherwise, he probably is able to hold Gant to a single.
16th double of the year for Gant. Here's Sid Bream taking ball 1.
That's the only drawback to the way he plays in center field, and he just takes his chances hoping that he can use his speed to cut off anything in the gap, and he is a terrific center fielder.
Sid Bream 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice fly. Count even, 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves now with 10 hits off Expos pitching. In the air to right center field. Walker going back for this one. He catches up with it, tagging at second, and moving over to third is Ron Gant. So there are 2 down now with a runner at third for Damon Berryhill.
That was the shortest relay throw in history of the game right there. Walker running away from the infield. Knew that it was going to take him a minute to stop, so he just flips it over to Grissom. Says, here, you throw it in. Heads up play.
The new Montreal pitcher, Mike Gardner, is a native of Canada. He's from Sarnia, Ontario. Played on the Canadian Olympic team back in '84. Berryhill 0 for 2 with a walk. Fouls back the first one, 0-1.
A couple of years ago, I think it was about 3 years ago in Double-A, Gardner was the best pitching prospect in the Eastern League. Had a 12-8 record and an ERA of like 1.9. Terrific year.
Here's the 0-1 on the way, and Berryhill lines this one just foul.
Good stop by the ball girl.
I'll tell you what, we've seen some good defense by those young ladies this afternoon.
They can throw well, too, between innings. They warm up the outfielders. Ron Gant plays catch with the girl down the left field line, and he has no trouble at all getting it out there.
Here's the 0-2 downstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Off the handle foul. 1-2 still to Berryhill.
Gardner's always around the plate. Always has had good control. And you know when you go up there, you're going to get a good pitch to hit. It's just a matter of taking advantage or making the best of the one you're looking for.
Here's the 1-2 again. Berryhill ropes it, but right at the first baseman, Greg Colbrunn, for out number 3. Another hard hit ball by Damon Berryhill. The Braves leave the runner at third. Still 5-1.
Inning. Let's check out the Aflac trivia question and give you the answer. Mr. Van Weeren thinks it's Yogi Berra who has the most career hits in a World Series. Wow.
When you play in that many.
75 games he was in. Whoa.
That's more games than some players have in their entire Major League career. Due up for the Expos, Greg Colbrunn, Will Cordero, and Tim Laker against Tom Glavine, who has a 4-run lead, 5-1. Colbrunn today 0 for 2. He did drive in a run when he grounded out back in the 4th. Deion Sanders and Ron Gant converging. It'll be Sanders. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here in the bottom of the 7th.
There were 13 first pitch outs in his last start when he beat the Mets.
That may be, let me check. Nope, that's the second first pitch out he's gotten here this afternoon. He also got Cordero on the first pitch back in the 4th inning. And Cordero steps in now. He's popped the second twice. Nothing in 1 to Will Cordero.
Good idea, young lady. Good idea. Get out of the way of that bounce off the wall. You don't know where it's going to go.
Ron Gant tried to win a couple of All-Star votes, throwing that one up into the seats. Somebody dropped it back on the field. Now the 0-2 on the way to Cordero, and it's low and outside. A ball and 2 strikes.
The way Ron Gant's going, he may not need any votes. He's certainly got to be high on the list right now among outfielders for Bobby Cox.
And that takes care of Cordero. Got him with a high fastball. Just the second strikeout of the day for Glavine. 2 down.
Tommy doesn't get too many strikeouts with his fastball up there, but it was high enough. You could see Cordero trying to pull his hands in to get the head of the bat through, and was tardy. Most of Tom's strikeouts will come on that changeup down and away to the right-handers.
6 in a row retired now by Glavine. Here's Laker. Laker's grounded out to third and fly to left. Inside corner, called strike 1. The last 2 starts, very, very encouraging for Tom Glavine because of his control. He has had some starts this year where he's been wild, but no walks his last start, no walks today. And the 0-2 on the way. Still nothing in 2. He gets another strikeout as Laker chased a pitch out of the strike zone. Third strikeout of the game for Glavine. 1, 2, 3. Go the Expos in the 7th. We go to the 8th. Atlanta 5, Montreal 1.
Board. That game at Chicago, Sammy Sosa's hit his 4th home run in 3 days. He now has 13 on the year. Houston has added to their lead for Pete Harnish against Brian Hickerson. San Diego at Colorado. No score in the 3rd inning. And then the late game tonight, New York at Pittsburgh. Brett Saberhagen against Steve Cook. Minnesota blanked so far by the Yankees. Likewise, Milwaukee against Detroit. How many homers for the Tigers? Only one, Mickey Tettleton. Cleveland now trailing Baltimore. And it's tied up at Toronto in the 7th. Olerud extended his hitting streak. The other games will get underway in a little bit later on.
25-game hitting streak now for John Olerud. Lemke 1 for 3 on the afternoon. The count even, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can catch all the Sunday activity tonight on CNN Sports Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Paul Crane and Nancy Newman.
Here's the 1-1. A ball and 2 strikes to Lemke. Talking about Olerud, he's not the only Blue Jay having a good season with the bat.
No, sir.
We were looking at the American League leaders today. You can look in any category, virtually any category in the American League. And in the top 10, you'll find at least 3 and sometimes 5 Blue Jays. Batting average, Olerud leads the league. Molitor 2nd, White 10th. Runs scored, Molitor 1st, White 2nd, Alomar 3rd, Olerud 4th. Doubles, Olerud 1st, White 2nd, Carter 3rd. That's all for Lemke. Good fastball from Gardner. He has his first strikeout. And just go down the list. Any category you look at, you're going to find Toronto Blue Jays in the top 10. Now Tom Glavine. Glavine 1 for 3 and an infield single back in the 2nd.
Toronto has so many different weapons to beat. It's not just singles or home runs. They got guys that steal bases too.
Off the fist toward 3rd. Nice play to his left by Bullock. And quickly 2 are down here in the 8th. And that'll take us back to the top of the order and Deion Sanders. Sanders 1 for 3 on the day. Doubled back in the 5th.
Braves, when they get to Philadelphia, encounter a similar situation in terms of runs scored there, Pete. Dykstra, Kruk, and Dalton in the top 5 in runs scored in the National League. And those 3 guys are 3 of the top 4 guys in terms of walks, too. They're always on base.
1 ball, no strikes to Deion Sanders. 5-1 Braves, top of the 8th. Two and 0. Into right field, Deion aboard again. A 2-out single.
Good thing he hustled through the bag, too. Mentioned that Walker threw out 2 guys last year at first base. He gunned down Tony Fernandez and Tim Wakefield, who I guess trotted to first base after getting what appeared to be a single. And he threw him out. Deion raced down there.
That's the 11th hit of the day off Montreal pitching. And it'll bring up Rafael Belliard. 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. If you joined us late, Jeff Blauser started the game at short. Fouled the pitch off his foot. And it swelled up on him, so he had to leave the game in the bottom of the 3rd. Deion at first with 2 down. Out of play, right side, count even. 1 ball, 1 strike to Rafael Belliard.
It appeared to be in one of those spots too, Pete, where it's like right at the top of your shoe, near the ankle, where after the pain subsides, you think you're able to continue in the game. It begins to swell up a little bit and kind of locks up the joint, where as soon as you start to point your toe at all when you're trying to run, it really becomes painful.
Here's the 1-1 with the runner going. Fly ball center. Marquise Grissom drifting back. And he's there for the catch. That'll do it for Atlanta in the 8th. We go to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Still the Braves 5 and the Montreal Expos 1. 8th inning. Braves leading at 5-1. Tom Glavine after his 9th victory of the year. A lot of Braves fans in Montreal this weekend. We've been counting them all weekend long from all over the place. Some from Georgia have come up here vacationing. Others from the New England area who follow the Braves on TBS.
And happy Father's Day to my dad. Tuned in today in Norman, Oklahoma. Got his feet propped up, I'm sure.
Frank Bullock, a pinch hit back in the 5th inning, grounding out to short. Lines the first pitch down the left field line toward the corner. And Bullock's going to have himself a leadoff double to start the bottom half of the 8th inning. That's his 10th double of the year.
He has hit much better from the right-handed side of the plate. His second double right-handed. And a 40-point difference between left-handed and right-handed. So he hit that one with some authority, and that seems to be his more comfortable side.
Hit number 7 off Tom Glavine. Back to the top of the order now, Delino to Shields. DeShields 3 for 3 off Glavine. 3 singles. And coming into the game, DeShields was only hitting 156 in his career against Glavine. On the ground to the right side, Lemke will field. Glavine will cover. Good hustle by Glavine. Sid Bream broke for the ball. Didn't have time to get back to the bag at first. Moving over to third is Bullock.
That was a good heads-up play by Sid, because after he realized he was not going to be able to get back to the bag, rather than to go over there and try to congest things, he was letting Tom know right away and was yelling to him, "You got it. You got to cover." Nice job.
The runner's at third now with 1 down. And here's Lou Frazier batting for the first time in the game. Frazier hitting .315. Has a homer and 7 RBIs. Base stealing threat if he gets on. He has 13 stolen bases and 14 tries this year.
And likes hitting in this ballpark.
Batting .371 as a right-hand batter. .281 from the left side. One-oh pitch on the way. Good changeup. Evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just a slight difference. He was the designated threat last night. He came into the on-deck circle twice and was called back each time, never announced into the ball game.
Out of the Detroit Tigers organization. 1-2 now. The count on Frazier. There's the runner at third, Frank Bullock, 1 man down. The 1-2 on the way, started to go. He's out of there. Strikeout number 4 of the afternoon for Tom Glavine. Out number 2 here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. It's only the 7th time in 93 at-bats that Frazier has struck out this year.
Tom had some good movement on this fastball, tailing it down and away. Frazier had asked Jerry Crawford about the pitch before, wondering if he had gone after a good pitch, and couldn't pull the trigger on that one.
Here is pitch number 100 of the afternoon for Tom Glavine. It's a strike to Marquise Grissom. Grissom 1 for 3, an infield single back in the 4th, his 500th career hit. On the ground to Lemke. And Tom Glavine strands that runner at third. We've completed 8 at Olympic Stadium. Braves still up 5-1. And Joe, after a disappointing start here in the opening game of the series on Friday night, Braves a chance to get out of Montreal, winning 2 out of 3.
One of the things I think, Pete, and this is not downplaying the problem the Braves have had scoring runs all year, but sometimes we don't give enough credit to a guy when he goes out there and pitches well, like Martinez did in the opening game of this series. this guy certainly has turned it around, and he's hitting over 350 since that game where he walked off the field in Cincinnati, and he's begun to lead again by good example.
Even count of 1 ball, 1 strike on Terry Pendleton. It's a frustrating time right now for the Braves to be playing really quite well. They've been winning quite consistently of late, but unable to gain any ground on the San Francisco Giants. And the attitude of Bobby Cox and most of the players seems to be, look, we can't worry about the Giants right now. There's nothing we can do about what the Giants are doing right now. We just have to take care of our own business and try to keep winning series. Pick up a game here, a game there maybe, and by the time you play San Francisco again, then you can take direct aim at them.
Giants have really not had any pressure on them so far, Pete. They've just been playing good baseball. They've had a comfortable lead for the most part all last month or so. And there are so many games left. I think 90. Today's game number 70, so good 92 games left, counting today, and a lot of things can happen. And you just don't anticipate the Giants hitting the way they've hit the first 2 months of the season for the rest of the year.
Over the mound, DeShields will field near the bag at second. The throw to first, close play, just in time to get Pendleton 1 down.
But I think that's the right approach. You just got to go out every day and try to win every game when you go out there. Don't really go into a series saying we've got to win 3 out of 4, or got to win 2 out of 3. Terry Pendleton hustling down the line, almost beat it out.
That'll bring up David Justice, who's 3 for 4. Give an example of what we're talking about. The Braves in their last 12 games have won 8. That's winning 2 out of 3. You win 8, you lose 4. They've lost a game and a half in the standings over that 12-game stretch. And also, every team goes through a little spell where they don't play well for a period of time. The Giants have not had a stretch like that yet. They've been hot since day 1 of the season.
Right.
It may last a week, it may last longer, it may only last 4 or 5 games, but they will hit a stretch like that sooner or later, and that's when the Braves are going to have to try to make up some ground in a hurry.
And offensively, as far as the Braves are concerned, what I see them needing to do is just take advantage of scoring opportunities. They don't have to get 15 hits every night. It's just when they do get a runner into scoring position, especially a runner at third with less than 2 outs, get that run home. Give the pitchers a little breathing room. That's where they've got to improve.
They've done that a little bit the last couple of days, taking advantage of the opponent's mistakes. Montreal made 2 errors last night. Braves cashed in 2 unearned runs. Montreal's made 2 errors today. Braves have cashed in with 2 more unearned runs. 2-2 the count now on Justice.
And they played yesterday's game a little bit differently than they had been, and that was by trying to move some runners up deep in the batting order to set up some RBI opportunities and put some pressure on the defense.
Here's the 2-2 from Gardner. High in the air to shallow left field. Frazier puts it away, 2 down.
Let's look ahead. Let's project this same situation this year to next year, where they're talking about expanding the playoffs to a first and second place team. I wonder how that would affect a ball club like the Braves next year, knowing that they've got a 2-game lead right now over the Dodgers in Houston. Do you think all of a sudden the second place team, say in August, begins to coast a little bit, trying to save their pitching some, knowing they got a lock on second?
Well, if you have a lock on second, I can see that happening.
I mean, even a first-place club, when they've clinched, they start preparing for the playoffs, setting up their pitching rotations. Second-place club to do the same thing.
That's why I think they have to be careful with that home field situation. They've been talking about starting the series in the second-place team city and playing the first 2 games there, and then moving back to the first-place team city and playing 3 there if necessary. But you've got a chance at having the best record in the league and going to play your first home game in postseason play down 2 games.
What's the point of that? What's the incentive for finishing first?
I think they've got to change that, and I think they will. Here's the 1-1. There have been some other suggestions. One, that you do it sort of like the NBA format, 2 games at home in the first place city, then 2 games at home in the second place city, and then back to the first place city if a 5th game is needed.
Ron Gant took one off the foot, too.
And they've also talked about the possibility of maybe only playing 1 game in the home of the second-place team, playing all the rest in the city of the team that finished first. But you've got to give the first-place finisher an advantage, home field advantage in the playoffs.
I think so, too. You got to have that incentive in there.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. That's all for Gant. That's all for the Braves. 3 scoreless innings of relief for Gardner. We go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. 5-1 Braves.
Watch the magic of Turtle Wax. Turtle Wax Color Magic color enriching car polish. While the magic of Color Magic helps hide minor scratches and enriches your car's color, the science of Turtle Wax gives you 12 months of unsurpassed protection and beating. Even on old neglected finishes, Color Magic works its magic, while Turtle Wax product science removes years of oxidation and brings back the shine. Get the magic and science of Turtle Wax. Turtle Wax Color Magic color enriching car polish.
At Foot Locker, people ask why haven't they heard more about Asics gels? Well, the Asics athlete who wears them can't be found on a cereal box. And you won't find them on every t-shirt in town. The Asics athlete can only be found in his gels. And at Foot Locker. When you're ready for gel, the newest Asics are now at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
You are here. She has the traveler's checks here. Uh-oh. Well, how about American Express traveler's checks for 2? The only checks either of you can use. Don't leave home without them.
If this is a lock, this is a Schlage lock. Schlage, the Doberman of locks.
Some more Braves fans who have turned out here in Montreal this weekend from the state of Maine. It's 5-1 as we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Tom Glavine 3 outs away from his 3rd complete game of the year. He's already got 1 complete game victory this year over Montreal. That 1-0 shutout back in Atlanta. He has scattered 7 hits, allowed just 1 run here this afternoon.
He's had more trouble with that button than he's had with the hitters.
He's been working on that all day. Larry Walker 1 for 3. Now the play, 0-1. The Braves bullpen is up with right-hander Mark Wohlers, left-hander Mike Stanton beginning to throw.
And the funny thing about this bullpen, it's so narrow. These guys have to throw alternating pitches or they kick each other in the nose. I guess they could change places and be back-to-back, wouldn't they?
On the ground to second, Mark Lemke. Throws out Walker, 1 down.
2 guys with high leg kicks, and Stanton throws 1, Wohlers waits, and then he gets to throw 1.
Sean Berry up now to pinch hit for Mike Gardner.
And just what Ron Gant wanted. He hit that ball off his foot. Stanton throws the ball away, and Ron's got to limp back to the wall and get it. I don't think Ronnie wanted to move at all.
He's not even going to try for any all-star votes with that one.
No.
Berry on the year, hitting .246, couple of home runs, 14 RBIs, 4 out of 18 as a pinch hitter. Mark Lemke can't get to this one. Base hit for Berry. Hit number 8 of the day off of Glavine. And now Greg Colbrunn will step in. Colbrunn 0 for 3.
Berry 2 for 2 the last 2 nights in pinch hitting. Glavine had 7 complete games last year, 5 shutouts. This would be his 3rd if he can finish it up. His 3rd complete game, that is.
A ball and no strikes, the count on Colbrunn.
And last year, all the complete games and shutouts were before the All-Star break.
That missed low, 2-0. Second half of the year last year was when Glavine had that rib injury. That slowed him down some. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Maybe a double play. Belliard's going to take it himself at second. On to first in time, and Tom Glavine has his third complete game of the year. The Braves take 2 out of 3 from the Montreal Expos. Final score, Atlanta 5, Montreal 1. Back with the wrap-up right after this.
Bounce back and take the last 2 games of this series in a ballpark that has not been kind to them. They win it today by a score of 5-1. They had 11 hits, Expos 8, and the Expos committed 2 costly errors, both by Larry Walker. Braves left 9 men on base, Montreal 5. Winning pitcher Tom Glavine improves to 9-3 on the year. Jeff Shaw takes the loss. He's 1-4. Time of the game 2 hours and 43 minutes, and the attendance 33,135. Good crowd here in Montreal. Our Holiday Inn player of the game is Tom Glavine, who records his 3rd complete game of the year and his 9th win, with the outgoing performance allowing only 8 hits, and again for a 2nd straight start did not walk a batter. Congratulations to Glavine.
So now it's on to Philadelphia. First of a 3-game series there tomorrow night. It'll be Greg Maddux, 6-5, pitching for Atlanta. Kurt Schilling, 8-1 on the year, pitching tomorrow night for the Phillies. We'll have it for you beginning at 7:30 Eastern Time right here on TBS. Don't forget, later tonight, Perry Mason Sunday continues at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Until tomorrow night, for Joe Simpson, Skip Carey, Don Sutton, and our entire TBS crew, Pete Van Weren from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. The final today, the Braves 5 and the Expos 1. So long, everyone.